Hello students, welcome to political class. Myself Mrs. Swati Hazare from Gokhale Education Society's HL High School English Medium Ozar Township, Nasik. Today we are going to learn political science of standard 9th from Maharashtra State Board English Medium's syllabus, chapter number 3, India's defense system. Students, in the first part, we learnt about all three Indian defense forces, that is the Army, the Navy and the Air Force. And all these together constitute the defense and security system. Today we are going to proceed with paramilitary forces. Paramilitary forces. A paramilitary organization is a semi-militarized force whose organizational structure, tactics, training, subculture, and function are similar to those of a professional military, but is not formally part of a country's armed forces. Over 10 lakh personnel serve in 7 paramilitary. It has only in November 2015 that the Home Ministry gave approval to give the status of martyr to personnel from the paramilitary forces who die in the line of duty. So, paramilitary forces are to help the defense forces. The Border Security Force, the Coast Guard, the Central Reserve Police Force, the Rapid Action Force are some of the paramilitary forces. Paramilitary forces are neither completely military forces nor completely civil forces. Their main task is to help the defense forces. They are responsible for the security of important locations like railway stations, oil depots, water reserves, etc. They play a role in management of disasters. The responsibility of protecting the country's international borders during peacetime also rests with the paramilitary forces. Number 1, see, we can see here the BSF means the Border Security Force. It creates a sense of security in the minds of people living in areas near the border, prevent smuggling and patrol the border. BSF came into being in the wake of the 1965 Indo-Pakistan War. To ensure the security of the borders of India, it is headed by an officer from the Indian Police Service. Nearly 2.4 lakh personnel are a part of this force, and it is also called as the first wall of defense of Indian territories. During peacetime, the prime responsibility of protecting the international boundary lies with the border security force. The BSF Jawans also have to inculcate a sense of security among citizens in the border areas. The BSF Jawans, therefore, in addition to patrolling borders, undertake several tasks like the prevention of entering people from across the border and prevention of smuggling. The BSF also help the civil administration in the border areas. Means all these are the additional work or additional task of the border security force. Next, the Coast Guard. It was created to protect India's oceanic borders. It protects the fishermen within Indian maritime borders and prevents smuggling along sea routes. The Coast Guard has been set up to protect the Indian coasts. The three regional headquarters of the Coast Guard are in Mumbai, Chennai, and Port Blair in Andaman. The Coast Guard carries out various tasks such as providing security to the fishing activity within the Indian marine borders to protect India's oceanic borders. Next, preventing smuggling on the ocean and patrolling the marine borders. The Coast Guard is unique because it is not part of the Department of Defense. However, the Coast Guard is considered a military service because during war times or times of war or conflict, the President can transfer any or all assets of the Coast Guard to the Department of the Navy. The Central Reserve Police Force. It helps the administration in various states to maintain law and order. The CRPF is India's largest central armed police force and is considered India's largest paramilitary force and has strength of more than 3 lakh personnel as of 2019. The CRPF helps the administration in various states to maintain law and order, crowd control, riot control, protection of VIPs, checking environmental degradation, and protection of local flora and fauna, rescue and relief operations at the time of natural calamities. Come to the next point, the Rapid Action Force. It brings people's lives to normalcy by moving in quickly in accidents of threat to national security such as bomb blast or riots. The Rapid Action Force. The Rapid Action Force is a specialized wing of the Indian CRPF to deal with riot and crowd control situation. This unit has been used to deal with communal violence, law and order duty, festival and election duties, and agitation. Humanitarian activities, that means RAF means Rapid Action Force has also succeeded in projecting the human face of government and build bridges with the public by carrying out rescue and relief operations during floods, earthquakes, cyclones, and outbreak of epidemics in various parts of the country. Anti-terror operations during the November 2008 Mumbai terror attacks, RAF was involved in the areas around the Oberoi and the Taj hotels. Then Kamlesh Kumari Mahila Battalion was awarded for her bravery, who sacrificed her life during the 2001 Indian Parliament attack. The National Cadet Corps, NCC, that means. It was established to instill discipline among students and to provide military training. Students from schools and colleges can join the NCC. The National Cadet Corps in the youth wing of the armed forces is the youth wing of the armed forces. It is open to school and college students on voluntary basis. National Cadet Corps is a tri-services organization comprising the Army, Navy and Air Wing, engaged in grooming the youth of the country into disciplined and patriotic citizens. NCC organization recruits cadets from high schools, higher secondary, then colleges and universities all over India. The cadets are given basic military training in small arms and parades. Other than just military training, the cadets also learn several other valuable things such as selfishness, honesty, discipline, hard work, and ways to build confidence and gain leadership qualities. Next paramilitary force, Home Guards. It was established in pre-independence period to assist in the defense of the country. Any citizen between the ages of 20 to 35 years can join the Home Guards. It maintains public security, supplies milk, water, and other essential services during riots or strikes, regulates traffic, and helps people at the time of natural disasters. Citizens can join the Home Guard and assist in the defense of the country. Actually, the maintenance of law and order in the country is mainly the responsibility of the police force. This task becomes easier with the citizens' cooperation. Home Guards is a voluntary force. Any person in the age group from 20 to 35 years who has passed the fourth standard can join the Home Guards. Special training is imparted to the recruits. It includes physical training, training in the use of weapons, first aid, firefighting, mob control, traffic regulation, driving automobiles, and so on. The recruit has to work as a home guard for at least 3 years, after which he can be reappointed. Home guards have to execute several tasks. They join hands with the civil defense corps in helping the police force to maintain security in civil life during external aggression. There is a possibility of disruption of essential services like public transport and milk and water supply during strikes. The Home Guards undertake the provision of essential services like supply of milk, water, and regulation of traffic in order to avoid inconvenience to citizens at such times. The Home Guards help in the rehabilitation of affected citizens during disasters like riots, earthquakes, and floods. They also help maintain law and order during public festivals and like Ganesh festival, Navratri, Muharram, and Eid. Internal security is ensured because of these tasks carried out by the Home Guards. Number 5. Challenges to India's security. Number 1. Pakistan and China have threatened India's national security. These both are neighboring countries of our country. It is well said that you cannot change your neighbor, howsoever troublesome they are. This fits right both of these neighbors. Pakistan has territorial disputes with India which both the nations believe that can be resolved through mutual talks. In fact, both the countries has had 3 wars till date. So this challenge to our nation continues even today. Also, Pakistan is world famous for producing terrorists. In it continuously is busy in infiltration of these terrorists into India through borders, which creates lots of threats like bomb blast and various terrorist attacks. So India has to face this challenge too. India and Pakistan have a dispute over the Kashmir issue, river water sharing, problem of infiltrations, and over border. India has tried to solve these issues through discussion and negotiations. Pak occupied Kashmir, that is POK, is a major reason of dispute between India and Pakistan, and hence there is always tension along the line of control, that is LOC. A war between India and China took place in 1962. China is trying to establish its hegemony over countries in India's neighborhood. There is a border dispute between India and China. India and China are the neighbors, and both are also known for their population. Being a neighboring country, India always tried to maintain peace with China, but the communist Sino has an ambition of territorial expansion, also believes in colonialism, so it always keeps on creating tensions along the borders between the two countries. This too is a major challenge India faces, and both countries had war in 1962. India's security is threatened from within. Religion, regionalism, several movements based on ideology, race, ethnicity, and rebellious economic equality are creating instability. The Naxalite movement is a threat to India's internal security. Next, terrorism is the biggest challenge to India's internal security. Now it is a global problem as well. As Pakistan is world's only haven for terrorist groups, initially only India faced the terrorist problems, but as the period passed, the terrorist groups in Pakistan have created lot of destruction worldwide. So, such a neighbors is a big challenge for India. Come to the next point, human security. National security is the security of the country as well as the people living within the country. In the post Cold War period, the concept of national security became broader. It refers to human centric thinking. It is expected that human beings should be protected from dangers given the opportunities of education, health, and development. A conducive environment should be created for everyone to live a respectable life by overcoming illiteracy, poverty, superstition, and backwardness. Human security includes the protection of the rights of minorities and weaker sections of the society. Post Cold War period, humanity was priority of United Nations and unanimously supported by the world. The World War had given a lesson that human life is precious and needs to be treated and blessed with humanity. So, in order to fulfill this, human centric thinking came into existence. Prior to World War, slavery was curse to human being. So worldwide movement was taken to see slavery is ended. And in order to lift a human life, the basic needs like security, education, food, clothing, shelter, economy, health was taken for upliftment through various skills. This helped in making life comfortable. In order to protect every individual from being exploited, right to freedom, upliftment of weaker sections, abolishment of backwardness were taken on priority. Next point, challenges to human security. Terrorism is the biggest challenge to human security. Terrorism targets common people, tries to create fear in the minds of people and make them feel insecure. Terrorism has counted for lakhs of precious life, human life, worldwide. So the various world organizations have taken this challenge to destroy terrorism and bring security to human beings worldwide. Population and other hazardous changes in the environment have threatened human life. Disasters like AIDS, chikungunya, swine flu, Ebola have presented a big challenge. Protecting human beings from such diseases also considered as a factor of human security. These two has threatened human life worldwide. The major issue of global warming is directly connected to pollution, which has threatened our planet environment. So the various world organizations who have taken it on priority to minimize pollution on our earth, diseases like AIDS, chikungunya, swine flu, Ebola has counted for countless human life. So WHO means World Health Organization has insisted on cleanliness, hygiene protections and brought awareness among the people for disease-free life. Presently, we are facing health issues due to coronavirus disease by name COVID-19. So, this is all about challenges to human life. So, in this chapter, we have studied India's defense system. We have also tried to understand the change in the concept of security from national security to human security. So, students, I hope you understood the lesson. Thanks for watching.